Avoid playing the blame game. Blaming is a common tactic used by women to gain control in relationships by using feelings of guilt or shame. Men become weak as a result, which will ultimately ruin the relationship. You don't have to be perfect or believe that you are, but you can't let her hold you accountable for trivial matters. Let's talk more about this. Men lose power by taking blame. Men are predisposed to accepting responsibility more than women. Regarding his job and financial choices, a man may find this to be quite advantageous. However, accepting responsibility should be seen as your capacity to act rather than as assigning blame. Typically, the word responsibility translates as blame or fault. I want each and every one of you to be accountable for your actions. That implies that I want you to be able to react appropriately, but I don't want you to assume responsibility for everything. And in partnerships, that is precisely what takes place. Many women will hold you accountable for trivial actions or inactions. How the blame game starts. Oh well, she's technically right, so I'll take blame for this, you'll say to yourself. You then apologize and promise not to repeat the mistake or to remember to do X, Y, or Z. For instance, your girlfriend might prompt you to empty the garbage. You concur, but you're not fully present. Whether you're in the other room on the phone, working on your computer, or both, you eventually forget that she instructed you to empty the garbage. When night falls, she realizes the rubbish hasn't been picked up and begins pointing the finger. Considering how simple it is to take out the garbage, I can't believe you didn't do it. You don't listen to me, why can't you just do something that's so simple and that you agreed to? Most males err in this area. Well, she's correct, I could have taken out the garbage. Why didn't I do something so simple? They reflect. The woman isn't satisfied by their subsequent apology. This is the turning point in the cycle of his acting frail and frequently apologizing for not living up to the girlfriend's unreasonable expectations. Technically speaking, you may have fallen short of your claim. But you know what? In partnerships, this will always be the case. Slow nagging leads to constant blaming and a shift in relationship. If you let women bother you, they will. As soon as this happens, you must stop. Don't try to place the blame on her. Don't let little details and errands like putting out the garbage escape your duty. Whatever you do, avoid assigning blame. Resist attempts by the pitiful to diminish you. Avoid assigning responsibility. At this point, you must check her and assume leadership in the relationship. Emotion vs. logic. A lady is approaching you emotionally when she engages in the blame game with you. It makes no sense to become irate or angry over a minor issue. But women do this because their emotions have more control over them than do men's. Men make the mistake of directly responding to a woman's emotional state with rationality, which is why males receive all the blame. But engaging in this logical argument is not appropriate. It's a sensitive subject. She is expressing emotion when she says, "You didn't do this / didn't remember this." Responding to whatever she says indicates that you embrace her explosion of passion. You can't, however, accept this. It's not justified that she becomes irate or angry over something trivial, which is usually the case. You need to stop this. Don't respond to the emotive statement with reason. Check her tone. She is approaching you emotionally. You must reframe the scenario and ensure that she is in a logical condition before you can make a logical assertion to her. She will verbally abuse you if you don't do this and try to utilize logic while remaining in her emotional state. Women begin to dominate relationships in this way. Tell her, if you want to talk like adults, then we can have a discussion. But if you want to blame me for something small like taking out the trash, then this is going to be a fight over something small, which isn't worth it. Do you want to have a mature discussion about this, or do you just want to fight? You two can resolve this matter quickly if she calms down. If she doesn't though, you might let her know that you will always be grateful if she chooses to be courteous. You verify her in this manner. Don't listen to what she has to say. Women want to give you modest duties to follow you in tiny ways. Over time, they wear a man down in this manner. If you're on the ball, you can catch her doing this and check her. However, if you're not in the right frame of mind, you must act now. Do not comply with her blaming. We can have an adult conversation about this when you show some decency though. Don't be scared to tell your woman this if she's acting impolitely. Many women won't even react to this. Instead, they will simply react to further aggression. But if you're dating a woman who is genuinely sweet and pleasant, then this is perhaps the most polite approach to assess a woman. You can discuss if she concurs, if she doesn't, end the conversation and try again when she's acting more politely. How to handle the discussion. Dissect the circumstance once she is at ease. You have the opportunity to state what you should have done or not done right now. You can respond logically when she's in a more rational frame of mind. But don't just accept responsibility and give her control over you because you forgot one tiny little detail. Otherwise, there will always be little things she recalls and can later use against you. Be analogous. Others may easily grasp this, and it will demonstrate to her that her irritation with you for not putting out the trash or anything else is silly. Basically, demonstrate another imagined scenario in which she disregards a minor rule that is important to you. Then consider her reaction if you were to get angry with her over something so insignificant. She will be able to understand if you give her an example because, on average, women are more empathic than men, but you have to wait until she's cool and reasonable. If you do this while she is angry with you and blaming you, the dispute will just get worse since she cannot have empathy for you when she is angry with you. It's challenging to remember tinier things that are irrelevant. Your brain doesn't create a neurological pattern to memorize something when you don't appreciate it. This explains why your wife seems to remember things better than you do. She doesn't simply have a superior memory. She can only remember things that are important to her but not to you, and she uses it against you to control the relationship. Be more aware. By avoiding her emotional state, you can ultimately halt the blame game. However, when it has already arisen, this works. The ideal approach is to constantly increase your self-awareness. Saying "yep, sounds nice, baby," or "yes, sure thing," for instance, when she gives you a tiny chore or tells you anything trivial, is not appropriate. This requires greater mental focus, presence, and acuity. Ask your girlfriend or woman to repeat whatever she says to you that you missed the first time around. Alternatively, if she asks you to do anything insignificant that you're likely to forget, don't be afraid to decline. Remind her that you're busy and that now is not the time to chat to you, especially if you're working. She might become upset, but what you're really doing is communicating plainly and not consenting to something you'll regret later. It is possible to stop a lady from wearing you down, but doing so requires that you remain in the present. If you can do this, you can avoid the blame game altogether and maintain a healthy relationship. But if you continue to let your woman blame you for every little thing, then don't be surprised when she's running the relationship into the ground and always seems unhappy. If you took an action today, watching this video, then hit the like and subscribe button. And I will be bringing you videos like this every day. Keep hustling.